be a little bit more automated. And then another proposal to support our second astronaut. Yeah, especially around like media appearances and anything else that they're kind of interested in, especially I guess like DSI related. Um, yeah. So yeah, looking forward to going through those two proposals, and yeah, kind of giving a little bit more updates on other MoonDAO projects, and we'll get started here in about 5 minutes or so. Um, but yeah, maybe Ryan, if you're done with adding your updates in progress, if you'd like to. Ryan runs our newsletter at MoonDAO, and he also is pretty good at keeping up to date with all the latest space news. So I thought maybe we could do like a 5 minute space news thing. I don't know, any big updates this week, Ryan?
Oh, I don't know what. SpaceX did their like 300th landing, which is pretty mind-blowing. Landed more times than most people have even launched, which is pretty crazy. What else? There's the LSIC lunar. What does it stand for? The Lunar Consortium. I don't remember the acronym right now, but they're meeting right now. I post that in general. They're recorded on YouTube if people are interested in checking it out. They're pretty long in-person conference days, so I've only managed to kind of half listen to the first day as I'm doing other stuff, but I don't know. Anything else you guys have heard?
Yeah, well, I saw you post a few images from the LSIC meeting. Is there anything else that has stood out to you, I guess? Or anything that you learned that was surprising?
Um, well, not sure. They had some pretty good resources. Like I learned about a few things. I posted another one that the SBIR grants that are coming up here in June. So they have like their phase one proposals open. Tagged you and Phil. If there's anything we might be able to put together for a proposal. It's like 150K for startups or entrepreneurs or what have you to develop some tech and really commercialize it. We have two phases. The idea is that it's commercialized beyond just NASA. I was also in a little quick webinar right before the Senate meeting, listening to that a little bit. But
Hmm. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, uh I've done an SBIR and a STTR, and man, they don't joke around. It's a lot of it's a lot, there's a
yeah,
lot to it.
yeah,
It takes a long time and
yeah,
difficult to get. Yeah,
yeah. Scratch that.
but yeah, could be cool.
And NASA has a bunch of stuff on GitHub too. I just realized they have a ton of stuff on there.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah,
Hmm.
they've got a bunch of their open source software and stuff on there.
That's cool. I've actually
Check you
never
can follow.
never checked that out. Yeah,
Yeah, tons, like 500 repos or something.
500 repos.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Oh my god. Yeah, just found it. Kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that you can build off of.
Yeah, I'm reading through this. Um, yeah, I see Joel in the audience. Yeah, I wonder if they have any lunar open data sets here on this GitHub. I don't know if this is just code or if there's also data. Hmm.
Yeah, they got tons of resources. It's almost like overwhelming, obviously. Not just
Yeah.
there, but all over. So kind of hard to think through it all.
But yeah, this is awesome. Wow. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, we're almost 10 minutes in. Mitchie, do you want to kick us off? Maybe we could do the Nance proposal first, because I think Ryan was doing a couple edits last sec to the second astronaut proposal.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah, pretty short agenda today, just the Nance integration proposal and then the astronaut support proposal. I guess we should invite Jiggly Jams up here.
Yeah, I've also invited, well, we should also introduce Fayan to people in the audience who will be joining us this quarter as a Senate member.
Yeah, congrats, Ryan. I mean, you can jump up here as well if you want to say something. But yeah, Ryan was in our Discord, and so he's in this place on the Senate.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, I guess Jiggly Jams, if you want to share your screen, take it away.
Sure. Let me bring up the proposal here. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't joined for proposal reviews during town hall, so let me know what I should go over, I guess.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like usually it's someone will like share their screen, go through their proposal, kind of like generally give a high level overview of like what it is, and then in the meantime, usually the senators have the proposal open and are reading through it, making sure everything makes sense, and just kind of double checking everything. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Nance is a governance automation platform that we developed within the Juicebox world, and it's been running for Juicebox DAO itself for about 2 years now. Basically shuttles proposals through the governance process, kind of hoping to limit copy pasting between platforms and just minimize overall human input between all these different stages of governance. So the main goals of this proposal are just integrate kind of the Nance API system with the MoonDAO app, so that MoonDAOapp.com will become like a one-stop shop for everything within the DAO. People will be able to go there and view all proposals that are in like a pre-snapshot state, as well as create proposals there. And in addition to having that on ramp, getting proposals into the Nance system from the app, like once proposals are approved from a Senate meeting or something, we'll be able to automatically upload them to Snapshot and kind of minimize human input there. Sweet. Thanks, Coffee Crusher. Yeah, and along, some other pieces, we have like a Nance Discord bot that can keep people informed on, what proposals are in which state. And yeah, a lot of this will be kind of an exploratory time to see what works best for this community. Every community does governance a little bit different. So, coming in and just observing this process, being able to, maybe add some new commands to the Nance system so that like all the proposals can be precompiled during a Senate meeting and like listed here in the chat, something like that. So some of this will be exploratory. Yeah, one more kind of proponent of this proposal is to try and move away from like Google Drive and kind of look into some alternative solutions. Pablo and I have been looking into a system called Tableland, which is kind of a EVM backed database system. You can deploy it on like any chain, and kind of lets you have any SQLite database backed by these kind of EVM validators. Could be an interesting way to get a little better kind of longevity of all this data, and yeah, just be a little more open. And yeah, with that, got like some OKRs here. I think I turned on comments as well. I don't know if anyone wants to leave some inline comments, but and then have like estimated budget down here. Yeah, that's kind of the gist.
Mitchie, we can't hear you.
Oh, you can't.
Well, we can, but you're very quiet.
Yeah, it's really far away.
Oh, weird. Is this any good?
All right. Well, I guess while Mitchie's figuring out his microphone, yeah, just want to say some words about this proposal. So we've been, coordinating with Nance for, I want to say, 4 months at this point. We've been talking about how we could use Nance at MoonDAO, and yeah, I think this proposal is kind of the result of a lot of conversations that we've had that aren't, as well documented as this proposal. So I'm especially interested in how we could use Tableland and this sort of like SQLite server. We're also even considering migrating some of our contracts for the citizen and entities to use this sort of like on-chain SQL. And I think it'll be, I don't know, just a really cool development and sort of like the MoonDAO app. And then on top of that, I mean, I think something really cool that Nance is doing is they're essentially like providing like API like endpoints, like backend, and then a lot of this work is in integrating all of the Nance like I don't know, guts into the like MoonDAO UI, which is also something very unique. So yeah, we have Jiggly Jams and another developer, 2Dam, who will be like supporting on that front too, and just kind of making sure it all sits flush within the app. So yeah, I think that's really, really cool. And then ultimately all of the data is on chain too, so it makes it easy to like port or do other analytics on top of it later. So yeah, I think it's a really, really cool system. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that extra context. Yeah, here's like just a quick mock-up that we made a few months ago of like what this could possibly look like from within the app. Yeah, just a lot of cool opportunities here. And yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. Happy to answer.
Mitchie's got a question about Tableland and whether or not it can replace some of the information that he's storing in sheets, like contributor data and associated wallets. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think the answer
I
is
don't see
yes.
why not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like along with proposal data, I can show you like this is our standard front end, that supports like multiple spaces. We would kind of make the same API calls, but integrate everything with MoonDAO app. But yeah, when you come and like make a new proposal, there's also this concept of like adding actions, right? So you can add an action from Juicebox Treasury or just like an ERC20. In this sample space, I don't have any tokens in my safe, but basically you attach a safe to a Nance space, and then it'll like go and fetch, connect it with my Rainbow wallet. Anyway, yeah, you can kind of bake in these actions into the system as well. So yeah, able to like fetch everything that's in the safe and then specify like what address you want to send something to from within your proposal. And yeah, and that's all in the same vein of like trying to limit people reaching out, asking for wallet addresses and asking people to clarify amounts, things like that. So we can add something similar to this on the MoonDAO front end.
Sweet. And then Mitchie, I think your other question about Discord handles in the team section. I think that those are everyone's Discord handles, right?
Oh,
Mitchie, name.get.
yeah, I think 2dams should just be at 2dam as well. He might not. Maybe he's not in MoonDAO server, and I can get him to join. But I think he might be. Let's see.
Sweet. And another thing that I want to note too is that so Mitchie, what you're talking about with like contributors and associated wallets. So with the citizen entities, that's exactly what we're trying to tackle. It's just having like a user table for like all the members and entities within MoonDAO, and then having that in a clean kind of like on-chain sort of way. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I think there's going to be a lot of synergies or whatever between the citizen entities project and this like governance automation project. So yeah, I'm sure we'll have kind of we'll be checking in a lot and collaborating between the two projects. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, Mitchie, it looks like 2dam is in here. Is in the MoonDAO Discord. It looks like just as at 2dam.
Cool.
And yeah, Coffee Crusher. Yeah, I'm. Me and 2dam are the main developers on the Nance app, and yeah, definitely happy to talk about whatever other stuff you're wondering about for sure. And yeah, the tableland stuff we haven't really dove into yet, but it looks like a fairly cost-effective way to have a really open and wallet permission based relational database. So pretty exciting stuff. Thanks
Sweet.
everyone for
Any
your time,
other-
and
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Cool. All right. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Jams. Cool. Any other thoughts before we put this up to vote? Sweet. Cool. I think we're good to vote then. Oh, something I just noticed actually in the proposal. Jiggly James, you'll be the Rocketeer on this, right? Or the Senate member.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Right now it says that I am the Rocketeer.
Okay, that's Senate member. Got it.
Yeah. So you just swap these, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But should I keep you on here as like support somewhere?
Yeah. You
Okay.
can keep me in there.
Cool.
Yeah. And yeah, delegate. Okay, cool. Sweet.
Delegate. Okay. What's delegate then? I guess that's like
So
someone
delegate
who
is at
has
least one.
Mooney.
Yeah, one member that has more than 250 KV Mooney, which I think you do have, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Then yeah,
Or I think now I do.
sweet.
Awesome. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, this is Fine's first time voting. So, Fine, what we do is, and also I guess this is good for anyone in the audience, within City Hall, which is where we do all the proposals, step 3, which is vote. Yeah, you click on that and then only click one time on whether you approve or disapprove, A or B, and don't click it twice because that will undo your vote. So just click it one time and then, yep, click on voted. Sweet. See ya. Cool. All right. I think we got everyone. Cool. Unanimous decision. Sweet. All right. Cool. Sweet. It passed in the Senate when we'll throw this up on Snapshot later today. And then eventually, hopefully, that's the last time we have to do that. So, sweet. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Very excited.
Thanks, Team Lee. Mr. Jams.
All right. Sweet. Next, we have is Ryan. Are you going to be presenting the proposal, or is Dr. Iman
Yeah,
going to be presenting?
I'll kick it off, and I'll definitely have on up here stage as well.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Somebody could stop sharing their screen, I guess. It's Jiggly Jams, yeah.
Cool. Is it possible to share twice? Jiggly James, you might have to stop sharing your screen here. There we go.
All right. Cool. All right, yeah, so this is second astronaut support proposal, which is kind of just a very low low commitment kind of Q2 project. It was originally, well, it is a no MVP project, but at the last minute here, we did make a change to add a small flex budget of like 1K equivalent in ETH, just in case there are any unexpected expenses or any like support materials or whatever we might need. So I guess it will have to go up to Snapshot, obviously, in this case. But the basic idea of the proposal is have a small team together to support Man. Obviously, congratulations to Man. I think this is his first, and then attending our Senate meetings, but he hasn't been like involved, I guess. So the team will like support publicity and coverage on different media platforms like podcasts, articles, videos. We just had the first one kind of go out today, actually, with Iman and where he works at the VUMC. So article's already out. The idea will be to get more coverage during Q2, and also just kind of for things that we want to do in terms of like on the ground events, a virtual watch party, perhaps some medical research that he can do on his flight, a few things like that we want to kind of like really lay the groundwork for and not leave this until the last minute. And obviously to bring on Iman into the Senate, get more involved here, and also have I-24 of Titan will be joining the project to help out, serving as a moon settler. I think that kind of covers it generally speaking. Iman, do you want to say some things about the project?
Yeah, I mean, I think that sounds right. There's a couple of, I think, big objectives. One is we want to try to get the word out there and draw more eyes to MoonDAO also. But we want to do it in a way that makes sense and that's both acceptable by MoonDAO and by Blue Origin. So I think this kind of coordinates that. So as things come into myself or to MoonDAO, we can have a more centralized process of like vetting it, deciding if it makes sense to do it, and then touching base with Blue Origin about media. And then also, as it comes down to research and trying to figure out what we could do on the suborbital flight, I think it's helpful to have a few people involved so that what we decide to do makes sense and is doable, and then also that there's kind of just people keeping an eye so that as time moves along, we're keeping note of this and making sure progress is being made. So as you said, it's not going to be last minute.
Totally. Yeah, I didn't clear it with you, but Iman will be the Rocketeer on this project. I mean, that part was cleared, but the $1,000 flex budget, I mean, assuming that sounds good with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think so in case there's anything that comes up.
Cool. Yeah. And obviously any leftover funds would be returned to the treasury as always. But yeah, that's kind of the basics. It's kind of a simple project, but just to formalize things here with Iman and put together a reporting team that we can, move things forward with his mission, with our mission, and lay the groundwork for probably another proposal once we've identified some, expenses, like if we want to get MoonDAO folks together on the ground and other things that we'll have to put together for a future proposal whenever we have the actual like launch date. So yeah, any questions, comments?
Cool. Yeah. It seems like no big questions. Yeah, I'm excited to get this off the ground. Thanks, Ryan, for taking the initiative and drafting this, and yeah, thanks, Dr. Eamon, for leading the project. Excited to have you, deeper within the MoonDAO processes. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and I wrote it in the chat, but yeah, someone reached out like an hour ago on X from the Wall Street Journal, so I'm guessing they'll want to interview you. So could be interesting.
I am open to all communications. Yeah, as long as it makes sense for everyone involved.
Sweet. Cool. All right. I guess sweet. Mitchie has posted it for vote. Thank you, Mitchie. All right, we've got Mitchie, Ryan, and myself. Just missing a couple others. All right. Missing name.get. There we go. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. All right. Well,
It's unanimous.
yeah, I guess so. Great. Cool. I guess we're done with governance stuff now. Just project updates. I don't know who we have first here, Mitchie.
First, we have, I believe, you with the MOONEY Distribution and the citizen and entity go-to-market.
Cool. All right. So yeah, let's see. With citizen and entity go-to-market, we are actively hiring a UX engineer. So if you know anyone that's incredible at that and yeah, wants to join a relatively small team doing I think some of the coolest on-chain work when it comes to DAOs, the more advanced stuff that you might see, and kind of be on the forefront of like designing UX and not just designing but also implementing it. We're looking for someone who's technical, that can kind of serve both roles. And I guess another thing that we're really looking for too is that they're relatively on the same time zone as us. The team is mostly I guess Central time to Pacific time, and we meet in the mornings. So that's important too. So if you know anyone that like fits that profile, let us know. But yeah, beyond that, we're looking pretty deeply into Tableland, and so that has some relatively big consequences for the smart contracts that we're developing. So we're you know, it doesn't change the underlying functionality, but it'll ultimately be a much more scalable and you know, simple to read from, so that like we're, if in the future we want to do anything where we're pulling from users and entities and using that, you know, in our analytics page, or you know, trying to figure out, you know, which members like created what proposal or something like that, you can do joins across all these different tables, and it'll just lead to a lot more dynamic and structured like information repo for the DAO. So really excited about that. And yeah, we're also yeah, I think we've kind of considered a bunch of different chains, and we've decided that we're going to launch citizen entities on Arbitrum. So we've gotten in contact with the Arbitrum Foundation, and you know, talking to them about what that looks like for the launch. So really excited there. And yeah, we're also kind of like planning next steps for the D prize and how citizen entities kind of fit into that, and kind of, you know, putting together this sort of launch schedule. So yeah, really excited for that, and also really excited to have you know, Jiggly Jams and 2Dam supporting on the Nance side, and I think that's going to be really cool to have all of that put together by the end of the quarter. So yeah, I'm really excited for this quarter. Yeah, so that's citizen and entities on the MOONEY Distribution side. I So yeah, I guess 2 weeks ago I attended the Foresight Institute meetup, and then from there I've had a handful of people reach out from different like venture capital type folks, and so yeah, just actively kind of talking to them, seeing what they think. Yeah, I mean, MoonDAO isn't like actively, like, we're not trying to organize any sort of like investment round right now, but I think having like developing all of these relationships is good. I went to a conference at Berkeley. It was called the Berkeley Innovation Summit or something like that. It was great because there were a bunch of student groups. I talked to one group that they're working on a rocket. I mean, they're like the rocket group at Berkeley, and what they told me essentially was that if they had $13,000, they could develop a two-stage rocket that could get to space, and they would like to try to beat USC's record for basically the highest altitude rocket by a student group. And the guy I spoke to seemed relatively confident that like you know, they could do it. They just need the budget, and then they would be happy to open source everything. And yeah, so it was a great conversation. I encouraged them to create a MoonDAO proposal, so maybe we'll see that. And then there's another booth called New Space at Berkeley, and they basically partner with different companies and organizations, and they'll create like a almost like they consider it's kind of like their startup entrepreneurial space club. So for example, they presented a project that they did with Deloitte, where they created a website for people to like, for farmers specifically, to figure out what services are available to them to do like satellite analytics on their farms. And it was pretty interesting. One of the people actually was like they're like they said that their goal is to get an internship at Planet, and so I was like, well, you need to reach out to Phil. So Phil, I'll put you in contact with them.
I'm not a hiring manager, but sure.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a fun weekend, and yeah, that's all my updates. Cool.
Sorry, jumping around different windows here. Give me a sec to unmute. next would be Bill, I believe, with the Desci CVs.
If it's okay, I'd like Royalty to kind of give their update. They've been more involved than I have this week. I've been really time constrained. So if your network's okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, hello everyone. Just a few updates. I think we had a meeting on Monday and we had a few discussions. We started sending out some invitations to authors to get approval so that we can start publishing notes. But in the meantime, we would go ahead and publish the notes if the authors don't reply, and then thereafter we can give them like the authority, or like send over the rights of the published work. But basically we came up with a plan, an action plan for the quarter to achieve our OKRs before the end of the quarter. And I discussed it with Phil and Clara, and we're working on it. Plus, we'll start sending out publishing notes from next week, and then we are still expecting authors to reply. I think that's more or less like all the updates that we have. Yeah.
Great. So are you guys actively looking right now for researchers to help use the Desci platform?
Yeah, thanks Royalty for the update. I started talking, but I was muted. So Pablo, I can answer your question. The answer is yes, of course. One of the issues that we're actually running into is, what do we do if they don't reply? You know, if it's not our work that we're publishing, do we just sit and wait until we get positive confirmation? You know, what's the ethical impact of publishing someone else's work that's already been published and is licensed properly? So that's one thing that we've been talking about as a group, and like with Desci, and so yes, we'd love more authors, right? Not necessarily more research, but more authors to join MoonDAO and be active and walk them through the publishing process is way more impactful than just finding more interesting papers at this point.
And
yeah,
I'm sorry, I want to say something. And since I asked Clara and she clarified that there's something in place where we can transfer ownership rights to the author once they like show interest. But I think the only question now is what if the authors don't like respond to the emails, or they don't show up or something? Then would be stuck with having already published their works and not having to like get any feedback from them. So I think that's something we are still like talking about and working around.
Yeah, exactly. Any other questions on Desci, how it's going? Okay. I have some other updates, not on an active project, but active work. Following up on the space-time project, where we wanted to build an open source high precision timekeeping device for spacecraft. So major updates. One is that Ashley's abstract to IAC got an abstract about this project that's going to be at IAC in Milan. I might need support financially to actually go. I'll see what it's like and what Open Lunar has to say about their involvement there, because we're kind of like jointly working on this project. 2 is that the RITs responded really well, and we've got a lot of really good excitement from like Ahmad, who's the inventor basically of the original time card, and some more people in our respective networks that are interested in congregating toward this project as advisors, technical advisors. And 3, there's Open Lunar's asked us to apply to an RFP, I guess. I don't know if it's like what to call it, but there's like a grant essentially that's right up this alley. Not necessarily the hardware, but the digital infrastructure. So Open Lunar's asked us to pitch this project or apply to that I don't know what to call it, money pool. So we're going to work on that. They've offered to compensate us for our time and stuff too. So I won't be asking MoonDAO for money there. I don't have enough time to write all the proposals for all this work to be MoonDAO projects, but it's related, and I'm basically acting as MoonDAO in these situations. Lastly, the lunar lunar coordinated time was put forth by the White House a few weeks ago as something that they want to pursue. And they didn't lay out the how, they just laid out the why and that it matters. Me and a GNC engineer from Rocket Lab who's working on the Blue Ghost mission, Christopher Botten, we wrote up a brief on like basically our opinions and clearing up misconceptions and breaking down what it means for in a way that's understandable by regular people without all the jargon. And so we published that on Open Lunar's website, and France 24 reached out to us for comment, and so our comments are included there as well. And in both places, I identified myself as a Open Lunar fellow and MoonDAO core contributor. So yeah, this time stuff is picking up. It's snowballing. It's impacting my time commitments, but I guess in a good way. And yeah, I mean, just wanted to communicate what I'm working on, but it's not a formal project, and I don't think I'll have the time to make a proposal to make it one, except for the IAC thing. I'll probably make a small brief one on that, but there's another pun that was on the LinkedIn, the Open Lunar LinkedIn that I didn't catch until today. Let me see if I can get it. Any questions on the time card or lunar time zones? Okay. Exciting times ahead was the pun on the Open Lunar LinkedIn. I didn't catch it until today.
Good pun.
Joel asked, would this project be open source? Start building MoonDAO commercializable IP? Yeah, so the fundamentals, the fundamentals of it, we intend to open source. So the hardware, the basis of the hardware that we're basing, like that we're using as a model is already open sourced. That said, there is at least one company that has commercialized and like manufacture and sale of those cards, even though they're open source. And they also created their own variants. So we've reached out to them to see what we can learn, but we're mostly focusing on that open source aspect of it. And the hardware is only the one piece of the puzzle. There's a lot of other stuff regarding like how it's distributed, and then also distributing it takes a lot of work, and maintaining the time and takes a lot of work. So how is that valued, and how do people pay for it if it is commercialized? So that is just TBD. Me and Pablo are talking with Icon, who presented sort of some ideas about this infrastructure at the Luna 10 Enablers Conference. But yeah, I agree that there's like MoonDAO stuff there. I think MoonDAO would be is positioned perfectly to be like a third-party arbitrator or an operator. But right now, we don't have anything, right? And so the first step is to get industry adoption and to get people thinking along the same lines we are with decentralized infrastructure, and being open about that, just for education purposes, and to make it more accepted in that area where it's dominated by DoD, Department of Defense, and military and government agencies. So yes and no, right? I'd say we want to, but right now it's basically completely open. To clarify, I personally think MoonDAO is positioned to have some internal IP and be an active player, but it's too early. It's not time yet. Yeah, and regarding funding, I've done a lot of work to kind of get money from outside of MoonDAO to fund this stuff, but I haven't found. I personally am not confident in or haven't landed on a certain way to bring a revenue stream into MoonDAO itself. So it's something floating around. I think me and Pablo have had a conversation multiple times, and we'll continue to have conversations on how to do that, because Pablo's been technically interested in this project as well. But yeah, right now, financially speaking, I'm just basically not asking MoonDAO for money, and that's my way to preserve the treasure.
Cool. All right. Any other questions for Phil? All right, then is that the end of the agenda, Mitchie? I guess we can do open floor.
That it is. Yep. Open floor.
Coming up is actually, I think it already happened. There was the Lunar Surface Innovators Consortium thing, Summit, I guess, Spring Summit. Also Logic, which is the public arm of the Luna 10 program, which is DARPA's endeavor into propping up lunar economy. It was Tuesday, so that today, man. Logic is something that I'm finding myself in all these conversations. But if you're interested in stuff, you're welcome to join. Yeah, if you heard about Logic and you don't know how to get in, just DM me or something, and I'll show you where the link is. I have a quick question. Now that I'm thinking about the entities being on Arbitrum, we're already on Polygon using Matic as a way to buy Mooney, and also Ethereum. Bringing Arbitrum as another chain into the fold, is that going to cause complications? Having 3 different chains under our app?
I mean, we'll basically continue to support Polygon for people that are already on Polygon, but yeah, the app will let you basically swap between different chains, whatever you're using.
Would the goal to be to basically, like, if a new person coming to MoonDAO, they would use Arbitrum for everything, like voting Mooney, vMooney entities, everything would be Arbitrum, but like the other ones are supported if you still want to go that way.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Unfortunately, so Polygon, like the Polygon that most people use today is Polygon Proof of Stake, and that is more or less being deprecated by Polygon to do their ZK EVM stuff. So like even today, if you go to Polygon, you actually have to choose whether or not you're doing the ZK EVM or the Proof of Stake, and they're actively routing people towards Proof of Stake. So like we're kind of needing to move regardless. And then we kind of, widened the aperture and compared a bunch of different L2s. And it seemed to us that Arbitrum is doing really well. And they have a lot of basically, there's technical reasons for why Arbitrum is a safer bet in the long term. And well, that's not to say that we won't be supporting other chains going forward. I think that there's a bunch of other chains like Base that will be really successful, mostly just because they're so deeply integrated into Coinbase, which is people's first step into crypto, at least in the United States. So yeah, we'll continue to kind of like look at the pulse of like where things are evolving and what's getting the most traction, what's what gives us the best protections and security. But
Right.
right now, we believe Arbitrum is the right one for us. Yeah.
I have another open floor topic. Just a question about the Discord server. Do we have like auto spam filters set up? It seems like there's a lot of spam, and I just wanted to kind of like mention that so it doesn't get ignored.
We have a lot of spam filters. In fact, there's a lot of unseen stuff that gets filtered out constantly.
Okay.
But it's a cat and mouse game, and spammers are constantly trying to like innovate ways to basically get around spam filters. So the spam that you do
Okay.
see is just like the tip of the iceberg in terms of like what like Mitchie, myself, and Ryan can. There's a channel where you can see all the auto mods and what they're doing, and it's just constant like spam that we're filtering out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Pablo, it could be good to ask Philip V to run his new auto mod stuff in here. He's been running it in Juicebox, and it's pretty successful at like banning all these. Like, you can add a list of names of like people that, like notable people that other spammers might try and mimic, and it'll like mute those people. Some cool stuff. Something to think
That's
about.
awesome. All right, yeah, I'll reach out to Philip. Yeah. I know
Other Philip.
yeah, other, yeah. I know Colin's also he put together a little bot for us too. But yeah, that's awesome. It is crazy just how much that like it's just this constant flow of like I can make, you know, $100,000 for you in 2 days. it's, it's like every single variation of that you could imagine.
I'm surprised at the number of porn ones that get through. You'd think those would be easier to catch.
Yeah.
Still happens.
But yeah, we should be doing a better job, and yeah, we'll reach out to Philip V. Yeah, and Coffee Crusher. Yeah, so we're in touch with the Arbitrum Foundation, and yeah, we're exploring, you know, how they could support us both, you know, with retroactive, you know, public goods funding, or even, you know, just announcing that MoonDAO is you know, using Arbitrum and helping us kind of with a little bit of a marketing push, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, another thing too is so yeah, in the 8 hours that myself, Mitchie, and Ryan are asleep, it would be great to have someone on the other side of the earth that can just help, you know, remove stuff like that. So um yeah, I think that's important. And I mean, it's been something we've been wanting for a long time. If someone on the other end of the world can just like delete a message, that'd be great for us. So yeah. Fine can help. Great. Cool.
Not too long ago, I was talking with some people to strengthen our community management and moderator support and stuff like that. But I asked them to write a proposal. They said they were working on it, but I haven't heard back. So we'll see.
Yeah, I've encouraged them to write a proposal as well. I don't know if they're.
I'll ping them and see if they maybe forgot or something like that. But yeah, I don't have the time to write it myself. Same old story. So.
And let us know, Phil, if you need help with you know, getting a proposal out. I've done so many of them now that I can crank them out relatively quickly. So if there's anything that would be helpful for you, just let us know.
Yeah, I mean, mostly just there's a lot of projects that I want to happen. The analog astronaut is one. The getting MoonDAO official MoonDAO support for this the university project with Open Lunar would be great. And then IAC travel is another thing that would be fantastic. But
yeah. With the travel one, we've kind of taken the policy that we're not going to do proposals for conferences anymore.
okay.
Instead, that it is managed through the executive branch budget. Yeah. Just a learning. Yeah.
Okay, I'll follow up later for how to do that. My brain is kind of too full right now.
Cool. All right. Should we close up? Anything else?
Yeah, I think we can close up unless someone's got some advice, some technical advice for Eliza here in the chat.
Don't click on the links, dude. Eliza, why are
Yeah.
you clicking? Why?
Oof.
Responsibly source your 18+ content.
Yeah. I don't know what advice. If you've got a bug on your computer, I would take find a professional that can help you with that. Yeah.
Or just get some gasoline and a match. No, I think if you're looking for antivirus, I use Kaspersky, and I think it's pretty good. That would be my advice, but probably go to a professional. It's usually not that expensive to have them help with that kind of stuff. All right, I guess that's it then.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Have a good one, guys.
All right. Bye all.
Bye.
Welcome to MoonDAO, a revolutionary governance model and mission-oriented community that's reshaping collaboration in the space industry. Our mission is to create a self-sustaining, self-governing settlement on the moon to act as a launch point into the cosmos. MoonDAO is governed like a nation, with its own economy, constitution, voting system, treasury, elections, and senate, but internet native, and so without the limitations of geography. In 2022, we sent our first member to space, showcasing our model's capacity for real-world impact. Now, we're implementing key solutions for global collaboration in the space industry. We offer a borderless, permissionless platform that enables everyday people to participate in the future of space development and exploration. Be part of our lunar legacy and join the MoonDAO movement today.